Hello everyone, Nick, the Gaming Otter here, to talk more about the Billy Mitchell vs. Carl Jobs trial. I know, we're back at it again. But there's more to the story, because apparently there are people in my previous video that are strangely defending Billy Mitchell, and I think those people need to be set straight for several reasons. So, Billy Mitchell is essentially this big video game player of the century, well, last century. And the thing is that he won this century award last century, keep that in mind, for Pac-Man and a couple of other things, like, basically was for Pac-Man, but he's also recognized for Donkey Kong. And Donkey Kong is really where the cheating is where it is. Right, so backstory. So, Billy Mitchell is this big Donkey Kong player in the 80s, and apparently he set the world record for like Pac-Man, perfect Pac-Man score in the 90s. Although there's some debate about that too, but we're not going to focus on Pac-Man. We're only really focusing on Donkey Kong. So when it comes to Donkey Kong, he held it until Steve Wiebe beat him in the 2000s, and then there was a plastic surgeon by the name of Hank Chen who beat um, Billy Mitchell. Believe it or not, Billy Mitchell used to be the person recognized as the first world record over 1 million points, and still until they took away Billy Mitchell and Steve Wiebe. So Billy Mitchell did not like that. What happened was he got caught using MAME. So where is the evidence, you might say? Well, it's all in these YouTube videos, folks. I mean, you can basically just look it up here. Billy Mitchell's statement and more evidence of Maine and King of Kong, smashing apart the Donkey Kong record, MTV Girder Finger interview. Those are basically the main ones. Oh, and you have OmniGamer right here. Definitely check out OmniGamer. He's awesome. Definitely check him out, guys. His whole thing about the transitions and everything, he basically proves, even Starcries, yeah, basically the whole internet knows that Billy Mitchell used MAME. Now, here's the thing about using emulators, right? Now, there is a separate category for emulators, but here's the problem. You can basically make a whole gameplay stitched together. And here's an important other thing to know. He took away the audio, and that's the biggest thing, right? Like when I do my Find Me runs, all of my audio is perfectly displayed. You can hear everything. I don't take the audio away from my runs because if you take the audio away, it could be clearly shown that something is going on. Billy decided to not have his audio, and that's a no-no. There's also other things, the fact that he was on a tape and other things. Now, of course, Billy Mitchell is very similar to a person I deal with in my own life, and my opponent in Find Game. And anybody who's followed it, basically, we learned that anytime you try to tell someone that they're doing wrong, they don't accept it, and they like to slander and defame you, and then they like to just throw things back. And that's ultimately what Billy Mitchell is doing to Carl Jobs here. Because by Billy Mitchell throwing Carl Jobs into court, he's wasting people's money, he's wasting people's time over the pettiness of him being called out as a liar. And that'd be like similar to my opponent trying to do their stuff. So we all know that. But anyway, we're focusing on Billy Mitchell. We're not focusing on my opponent in Find Me. But I could go on and on all day. But yeah, we need to talk about this situation because this is a very bad situation for the world records in general. And I'm just going to let it known clear that I obviously side with Carl Jobs for several reasons. And anybody who is a big Billy Mitchell fan, I am really sorry to tell you, but Billy Mitchell cheated. And anything that Billy Mitchell says is lies straight from his mouth, trying to get his false scores back on the leaderboards. And Billy Mitchell never should have played Maine in the first place. So anybody, again, defending Billy Mitchell is wrong. And anybody refusing to look at the facts is delusional and sad. And I feel sorry for them. Like my opponent and Find Me. But anyway, I digress. So let's focus on right here. Billy Mitchell and Carl Jobs going to trial over Donkey Kong cheating allegations. So this is 2024. So thank you, Jake Bishop, for the video, the thing. I'll put it in the description below. Long-standing legal battle between Billy Mitchell and a prominent figure in the video game community. Okay, and Brisbane-based YouTuber Carl Jobs is set to culminate in a trial this September. The dispute centers around defamation claims tied to allegations on cheating in the classic arcade game Donkey Kong. Billy Mitchell, known for his record-setting high scores in Donkey Kong and other, to file a lawsuit against Carl Jobs in 2021. Mitchell is seeking damages, nearly $500,000, alleging that Jobs accused him of considering harm his reputation. Here's the thing about that, right? And I want to make it clear to the Billy Mitchell people. Billy Mitchell destroyed his own reputation. Carl Jobs did not do that, right? Here's the thing about accountability and criticism, right? And what Billy Mitchell and taking away what Billy Mitchell's saying. Billy Mitchell is upset he got caught. He's not upset because he was falsely accused of cheating. He was upset because he was proved of cheating. And unfortunately, in that scenario, that is where you take slander and defamation and throw it out the window. And that's the truth. Now, unfortunately, there are people that are like this. My opponent, by me. But the point being here is that Billy Mitchell cannot handle a loss. Billy Mitchell does not like being told that he cheated because it hurts his reputation when he is the one, in fact, that hurt his own reputation. And for him to litigiously attack others because of his because of them calling him out is not only petty, but is jealous, is wrong, and it's a waste of people's time and money. And I could go and say that all day. So I'm gonna say it louder for the people in the Billy Mitchell fan group in the back. Yeah, he can't do that, guys. So you can say what all you want in my comment section, but I saw you in the comment section, and it's hilarious. So comments are good for the algorithm. Keep it up, guys. So anyway, so this has been for 3 years. Really, the lawsuit's been going for 3 years. There's Billy Mitchell. A trial date has now been set for September 16th, 2024, and the proceedings are expected to last 6 days. We're going to get into that because apparently it's been bumped back to October, but we'll get into that later. This development follows repeatedly efforts by Jobs to expedite the trial. A deliberate stalling tactic by Mitchell agreed. Central to the case into Mitchell's claim that he was never banned from Twin Galaxies. So here's the funny thing about that, right? And let me explain something. So Mitchell is technically still banned from Twin Galaxies, but they reinstated his scores in an archive database. That's right, folks. Billy Mitchell was so mad that he basically complained, and they just wanted to throw him a bone. It was like, here you go, Billy. You're in an archive database. You can't compete in our records, but you can just basically say you're on the archive database, which is kind of funny to me. Being in an archive database is basically like a powerless figurehead, and it just means nothing at the end of the day. It's just him being validated, like, yes, you did have these scores. Problem is, the scores being legit is in question because, again, you used an emulator and you probably stitched things together, Billy. We all know this. It's there. Like, we know it. We have the facts. We have the stuff. We have everything. Okay? We saw the MTV thing with the girder finger, with Robert Mirzak. Ursat's Cats has it. We all know. We're not stupid. Apparently, Billy thinks people are stupid, and that's a big problem. The assertion is contested by Jobs, who pointed out the previous lawsuits in which Mitchell stated that Twin Galaxy banned him, leading to public outcry and significant reputational damage. So here's the thing about reputational damage. Right. Reputational damage is when something hurts you in a way that was done out of malice. But here's the thing. Carl Jobs outdid, right, out of the integrity of the gaming records, Billy. And the reason why he called you out isn't because he caused reputational damage. It's because he was holding you accountable. And you lied, Billy. You lied horribly. And no one takes you seriously except your cult fan base that attacking you right now, apparently. So I don't know what their problem is. So they probably just are upset that you. Yeah, I don't really understand Billy. Billy, you don't make any sense, man. You need help, Billy. Like a lot of help. Like anyway, let's go on. So the assertion is contested by Jobs, who pointed to previous lawsuits in which Mitchell stated, right, there we go, we said it again, I'm sorry. Jobs argues that Mitchell's reputation was already tarnished by these earlier. Right. And we can go to that here. Billy Mitchell's, okay, so reinstated after multi-year, right. So the thing is, it's an archive database. They covered it here. They covered the archive database, the Defamation 2018 by Apollo Legend. We could go on this all day. I really don't want to waste my time reading everything because we got to go on to the trial, the actual trial stuff. The upcoming trial is poised to address multiple aspects of defamation claims, including processing cheating allegations, the extent of reputational damage. to demonstrate that Mitchell's reputation had already suffered irreparable. Right. So I think, if anything, and this is just my personal thoughts too, is that if anything, all this trial is going to do is prove that Billy destroyed his own reputation by cheating. So I'm going to say it louder for the Billy Mitchell fans of the facts in the back. He damaged his own reputation by cheating. So anybody who doesn't agree with this is basically delusional. And you can say what you want. Good players play well. Great players cheat. And Billy is a great player because he cheats. And that's a fact. And we already know this. So anyway, so I digress, guys. We need to go to this. So we're gonna go to home. Alright, so we're gonna go. We're going through. I'm gonna skim through things briefly because I'm already seeing in 11 minutes. I don't want to go this above 30 minutes. So, our long time await is finally over. Billy Mitchell and Carl Jobs, or rather their attorneys, will duke it out in Brisbane court. Today we recap the case so far. Fun week for Mr. Cheater. Right. So I'm gonna go through things, guys. So, greetings from sunny Brisbane. Yes, it's time. It's been 6.5 years. People have left from middle school to university in the time. The nonsense has gone on. Of course, the whole ordeal would have been done if Silly Billy had just publicly confessed and apologized, right? Uh, anyway, but yeah, so sorry, I'm trying to read everything. Okay, so you see, unlike American courts where crazy litigants can bleed defendants dry, even when they have no case, Australia is actually reasonable legal system, where the outcome of a lawsuit like the one Billy filed, Carl, involves the loser paying some of not all the winner's legal fees. As you all know, earlier, the legal legacy scorekeeper, Twin Galaxies, reached out court settlement. Right. The legal battle was an endless drain of resources with little hope to reward. Billy still didn't get anything he wanted. Lol. And there are actually a few differences. The Australian system speeds it up. Oh my god. Look at me. This is how I wonder. Okay. All this recap, skip ahead. So this is honestly a different. This is a Carl Jobs video. This is exposing a speedrunner who fakes their blindfolds in Monster Hunter. So this is the stuff, right? So here's the thing, right? Carl Jobs' sole responsibility as a content creator is to help people accountable for cheating. That is what Carl Jobs did to Billy Mitchell. He held Carl Jobs held Billy Mitchell accountable for cheating. And to say that it's slander is the exact opposite, because it's not slander, it's holding him accountable. And if we can't hold people accountable because it's slander, then you might as well let politicians who lie every day run their mouths on. And unfortunately, we already have a broken system in the world, right? Let's be upfront here. Nothing in life is fair. Everything in life is completely unfair. We have to work against a disadvantaged system. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, Carl Jobs is doing his job as a content creator to make sure that people hold themselves accountable. And that's what he did to Billy. Anyway, so Carl took off a few thousands of videos. He used to do GoldenEye, of course. Reporting such draws a line. The few cheaters, right? But anyway, guys, what are your thoughts? Like, I'm curious what people thought. So he also touched upon the completionist. He covered some other stuff as well. You guys can read that there. So now, the face of a man who doesn't know what's coming in summer 2020 received a concern notice from Australian lawyers representing Billy following his video titled Guinness World Records should stay out of gaming. So that's funny, is that they actually reinstated his record, so it really doesn't mean. You have 14 days to retract your vile and untrue statements or it will escalate. blah blah blah. What's funny is Billy isn't even the focus of the video in question. It was about Guinness. It has since been taken down because Guinness filed a copyright strike. But part of the story of that video was Guinness' gutless decision to reinstate. Oh yeah, that was gross, including one over an angry video game meme someone else made. Wow. Oh my god. Damn. Only kidding. When the first and third of these were nowhere, the second one is bringing the attention to gamers around the world to Brisbane. In 2021, Billy decided to finally caught to Carl in doing some business. Right. So it's a tough situation to be in for anybody, but let's be upfront here. We all know that Carl's just doing his due diligence. Right, folks? Okay, before we get to the alleged defamation itself, there's a related incident we need to cover, and I know I hate judging on timelines. Oh, we're talking about Apollo Legend. No joke. What? OMG. If it is true, I will not shed a tear. I will try my hardest not to smile or giggle. I don't see anything. Closest you found with his name is Dial. I remember. Who is she? I don't know. So Apollo Legend Reddit. I see nothing solid. I certainly hope you find something solid. Oops. Was I not supposed to say that? Well, I'll see if I can get my wife to find it again. Two different places online. Apollo Legend is gone. So there are a bunch of relevant text messages between Billy and Carlos, who was volunteering. Right. So these are a bunch of texts between Billy and Carlos regarding the passing of Apollo Legend. It was really truly a shame. Apollo really was gone. Billy would have no way of knowing. Was that? Was he blank? Was it blank? Apparently, any of those would have brought a smile to Billy's face, right? So I have to say, and I let people know, it was a very bad, sad day when Apollo passed. I'll never forget it was right yesterday. I was on stream, and we saw a video, and it was titled funny, and we just were like, "What the heck?" It was just bizarre, and we were trying to reach out to Apollo, and it was really sad when he had gone because Apollo brought light Todd Rogers and Billy Mitchell, two people that were notorious for cheating. And here's the thing about that you have to remember, right? When people earn money off of cheating, everybody loses. Everybody doesn't win. So Apollo Legends passing is a lose for everybody. And unfortunately, it is for Billy in many ways, although Billy looks at it as a win. But he doesn't win anything from this because at the end of the day, Billy just wants to basically keep cheating. And that's what he does. And so he doesn't care about anybody else. And if you look at the text message, you just look at it and he's like, lol. What's the lol, Billy? The lol over laughing over someone's passing? So, yep. So Apollo really was gone. On October 1st, Smith posted a video on YouTube stating that Mitchell does stupid stuff by not acknowledging the fact that he submitted bogus scores. In 2020, Billy would go on for a file of frivolous defamation against Apollo Legend in Florida, seeking $1 million in damage. The actual filing was bare bones, simply listing random things Apollo said, and did that irritated Billy without really identifying a single tangible offense. Despite the early bravado in August, Apollo did ultimately reach out to Billy and seek a settlement out of court. The terms of the agreement were confidential, right? Uh, what was not widely known in the settlement was that Apollo was battling for his physical and mental health. Apollo, known as Benjamin Smith, who took his own, sadly. To be clear, I don't blame Billy for Apollo's choice. I believe that something sort of thing should be incomparable. The truth is, like a moth to a flame, Apollo had a habit of inciting unnecessary blowback and pointless feuds. The only responsible for Apollo was himself. I've seen the text, and I doubt he cares. So here's the thing I take away from it is, again, while Billy did not directly cause the passing of Apollo, Billy's complete lack of empathy is just like, I will not shed a tear, lol. Is just very, like, sociopathic. And it's like, I try to have a special place in my heart for people that don't like me, my opponent and find me. But, even though I have a special place in my heart, I also keep them away from me because I respect them as a person. And if Billy wanted to respect Apollo, then at the end of the day, he should just be like, it is a sad day. Someone has lost their fight in the ability to keep living. And I would have had way more respect for someone like Billy. But you can't really have respect for anyone when someone passes away like that. So, and again, look, we all know that Apollo didn't pass because of Billy. But Billy's reaction to the lack of sympathy or empathy is sociopathic to me. And that's just a fact. Like, and you don't see people do this. That's not normal. What did Carl do? And here's where it started. But this is also the problem because we don't have confirmed specifics. All right, guess I'll say the PDFs and say the news. Uh, Australian courts are more opaque, denying me the ability to track. Carl commented on the ongoing case. And here's what we know: Apollo legend for $1 million. The lawsuit against Apollo was frivolous as the rest, and Apollo definitely would have won in court, but again, he was extremely ill and he couldn't handle the ongoing stress. I mean, that's a fair statement in my opinion. I'm going to be honest, when I first heard the portion, I thought this was legally safe. While the terms of the settlement between Billy and it was believed at the time that Apollo was forced to pay Billy a lot of money to end the litigation. Carl simply said that Apollo was left in debt, and that was, yeah, and that Apollo couldn't handle the stress. Oh, and Carl factually stated that Billy had texted various people making light of a premature report of Apollo's passing. What's the problem with that? Soon afterward, Billy, who rarely uploads on YouTube, posted a 5-minute video titled Response to Carl Jobs Regarding Apollo Legend, outing a lower density of lies than Billy's average declaration. Right. Uh, Demonstrably false, but of course fails to demonstrate their falsity in fact of Bill Carl's video as a whole. Billy claimed nothing he said was true. Right. So here's the thing, right? When you go through a court scenario like this, it is very draining and it is very mentally physical. While you can definitely make a claim that Billy Mitchell isn't directly involved with the passing of a Paul legend, there is no denying that people are going to look at it a certain way. Now, could you make an argument that Carl Jobs shouldn't have said what he said? You know, again, if we're playing devil's advocate, sure, you could say that about Carl Jobs. But to be honest, like, the facts kind of speak for themselves. And when you're someone like Billy Mitchell of I'm not gonna shed a tear, lol, that's pretty sociopathic. That's just me. That's just how it comes across. So he refers to claims by Jobs as demonstrably false, and told people that our dispute was nothing among the principal problems he faced. Yeah, it just sounded like he guilt tripped him before. In the video, Jobs outright states that I drove. He might as well just said, no, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. First, secondly, it's clearly a warning who may covering the story. Okay, Billy used platform to assert a claim contrary. And look, here's the thing, right? This is what Carl Jobs, this is just what I take away is. Carl Jobs said that the turmoil from that lawsuit that Billy Mitchell made Apollo Legend make that decision. Now, while Billy Mitchell did not specifically do that to Apollo Legend, it is no denying that Billy Mitchell was not Apollo Legend's friend. And I think we can agree on that. They were not friends. They One person was trying to bring light Billy Mitchell's cheating, and Billy Mitchell just wanted to deal with Apollo Legend in any way possible by throwing a litigious. I mean, I kind of want to call it a scam. That's what it looks like to me. Is like Billy Mitchell is a scam, guys. Like Billy Mitchell only cares about his own reputation in a way that hurts other people, and that's how he's always been. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. And I met him in person. He's not a very good person. I'm sorry to say, like, so, and while I do agree with Airsats Cats that people do have to be careful about covering this, there's no denying that when someone is sent through an emotional downfall, that the people that were responsible by causing the damages cannot be understated. Yes, Billy Mitchell did not cause the passing of Apollo Legend, but Billy Mitchell still bullied Apollo Legend. And I think that's the point that Carl Jobs is saying. And that's what I'm taking away from it. So we're going to go back. To be clear, Billy typically has an easy poker tell. The fact of the matter is he tells you something he knows is not true without lying to you, is his way of telling that he's lying to you. There's a couple of ways I should point out. First, that settlement is known to have a confidentiality clause. It's unclear what altered by Paul's passing, but in the event, it was still even in effect. By the fifth and final apparent aim of the video to scare Carl Jobs directly, Billy tagged on through defamatory scenes, misreporting, very premeditated and very calculated. Which is funny because when I think of something that's calculated, I generally think of something that is well thought out and well researched, but apparently everyone's using calculated as a very devious term, which I guess I could use that for my opponent if I mean because they're very calculated, but I'm digressing. But yeah, like the thing is, like I don't consider Carl Jobs to be mischievously calculated. I consider him to be a person of like a gaming scholar who does his research. And even if you wanted to claim that Carl Jobs spoke in an insinuating way, the insinuation is from facts. So the fact that Billy Mitchell is like, guys, I didn't actually cause Apollo Legend's passing. No, you did not directly cause Apollo Legend to pass. But Billy, you sent Apollo through a lot of emotional and physical turmoil. And that was your doing, Billy. That's what you did by putting him through this lawsuit and not having to have the guts to come forward. And that's the fact. We know this. We see this. Guys, I can't cause an issue with someone's emotional health over a lawsuit. Yeah, you know what, Billy? Like, I'm sorry, but when you send someone through that downward spiral, you are responsible for that. And, you can claim all you want, but you cheated in MAME and you couldn't handle it. And that's what's happening here. Anyway, guys, Billy also sued a Paul Legend for $1 million. I feel like I covered that already. Um, so when the claim came to doubt, not just from Billy lapping his lips, Carl made yet another revision to the contested view, or a third edit, and then a fourth edit. It's like at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, Billy just wants people to change their narratives for his benefit, and Billy, you cheated in MAME, you threw a frivolous lawsuit, you harassed and bullied people, Billy. That is what you did. When people hold you accountable, you don't you don't fire lawsuits to bully them. That's just wrong. What the heck, Billy? So, but anyway, back to thing. Now, before I finish, I would like to take this opportunity to correct something that I said about Todd Rogers and Billy Mitchell, blah, 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 blah. Mitchell also claimed that I'm accusing him of this. Certainly not the case. And look, I'll repeat it again and again. It's less so about accusing him of taking out a Paul Legend. It's not that. It's more so saying that he basically directly caused his passing. And it's less so directly, more so indirectly, because it's like if someone bullies you, right, and you're an adult, there's not much you can do in situations of bullying, and especially in mine. You can stand your ground, you can do things like that. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with a hate mob, it's very hard for you to get the truth out because the hate mob wants to believe in all of the lies. So, for example, with Billy Mitchell fans or my opponent Find Me, they just want to believe their agenda because it suits their ego, it suits their what they sleep at night. And at the end of the day, when you talk about competition and integrity, at the end of the day, the person who cheated, Billy, needs to confess to that. And no amount of litigiousness is going to cover that. You can say whatever you want, Billy, but we have the evidence and it's there about me. So please stop, Billy. Please. But anyway, so I've gone to the clarification statement out of the quote. Wow, Aristotle Cats really is going on in this. So there's the Twin Galaxies thing, and then the 2021 part. I'm trying to go through everything, but it's just a lot, guys. The problems with Billy's case, well, it's cut and dry. As a Carl reported something that Billy that wasn't untrue. Big time defamation, if I ever heard of it. Not so fast, my pretend naysayer. Billy may have been eager to take Carl to court, but he really didn't think this through. First, it's not defamation to say a Paul Legend paid Billy Mitchell a bunch of money, even if it's factually untrue. An important that's interesting. An important element of defamation is that defames the victim. I want everyone right. Price is right. I'd be a liar, and you might get annoyed. Uh-huh. Now, one could say contextually, arguably, in this case, since Carl discussed settlement, right? Okay, so there's just a lot here, guys. So we need to cover the big part. Is this is this person is Triforce? Um, yeah, that's someone we need to talk about. Apollo, you there? I saw a video from Dwayne Richard. Don't go, blah blah blah. I hear that you're da da da. Thanks, I appreciate it. The lawsuit definitely raised my stress levels a lot. Thank you for your help and concern. Okay, sure. Anyway, even worse, Billy's video contains a truly stupefying unforced error. As I alluded to Triforce, who Apollo reached out to help the broker, so the lawsuit has definitely raised my stress levels. Billy presented this as a total face in my life. Of course, this doesn't exactly validate the claim now. It seems so, Apollo, is that Billy's lawsuit is adding to his stress. So if we say that the lawsuit added to Paul's stress, we can say that the fallout of the settlement added to his stress. If we can say that Paul's demonstrable loss of income, uh, where exactly is the where we've already mentioned Billy's mistake of suing someone in a venue, where loser pays costs, but Billy has also made a mistake of suing too many people at once. Right, he sued Jace Hall. I mean, he's taking shots at too many people is what he's doing. Same losses at Carl's video, and the logistics issue have gotten worse for Mr. Mullet. Um, yeah, this is just long. I mean, I enjoy Airsat's Cat's blog, but it's a bit much. Whereas the defense of contextual truth in Australian law, defense of contextual truth allows a defendant to argue that a publication contains substantially true statements that outweigh any potential. Okay, so that should be a fact right there, right? So if the defamatory statements are regarding the Apollo Legend stuff, and this is just my personal thing, they're going to be heavily outweighed by Billy Mitchell cheating in Donkey Kong, right? So Billy Mitchell cheating in Donkey Kong, hefty, hefty, hefty. Carl Jobs making a, at best, slightly inaccurate statement. Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. So the hefty, hefty, hefty is going to weigh weight on Billy Mitchell. And that means that the wimpy, wimpy, wimpy argument against Carl Jobs is not going to be enough, and Carl Jobs is going to win, and Billy Mitchell is lose. Right there, I could just end the video right now. Because I basically just explained how Australian court lets you have one or two inaccurate statements if the rest of the truth outweighs the inaccurate statements. And honestly, that's the same with my situation. Because my opponent can try to say many things about me, and it's like, you know what? Yes, you blocked me, but you gatekeep the records. Yes, you did all these things to make me not so you didn't want me to talk to you. But you can't stop people competing. And Billy Mitchell cannot stop people from calling him out for being a cheater. So we need to look at the contextual truth, and man, maybe the Australian court system needs to lead speedrun.com because they seem to be doing a better job than the States. Right. So, how does the defense of contextual truth differ from the traditional truth? The defense of contextual truth, traditional truth, it does not require all statements whether true. Instead, it focuses on the overall context and substantial truth of certain implications that mitigate the harm caused by false statements. So there we go, folks. As I said, so this is a public case in Brisbane. And these goes over all the things about the plaintiff's score in Donkey Kong. And of course, extra, extra, while we have some breaking news, Billy's lawyer, Anthony Arad, has filed new motions in the Twin Galaxies case. And on the seventh day, he rested. Thank you so much, Airsats Cats. We really appreciate that. So I'm just going to go back home and briefly go over the title parts and the other things, because these are really long. So yeah, we went through the zero, and basically, the first day of the Billy Mitchell Carl Jobs defamation, the trials in the books, and those are all the date. Billy Mitchell has already started legal proceeding against me and has extorted 150,000. I have uploaded all the legal documents, so that's day one. This is day two, the second day of Billy Mitchell Carl Jobs defamation trial. Silly Billy and the witness, all the read all the ensuing stuff. Then we have more Billy Mitchell testimony. You can see it there. And then between 3 and 4, there are other witnesses. So there's just a lot more plot holes, and there's more testimonial from Billy Mitchell. Honestly, guys, if I go through everything, I think this video is going to be over 2 hours long. And I already at way past my 30-minute mark by 5 minutes. So I'm going to ask everyone to a like, comment, and subscribe, as always, for YouTube. Thank you for watching. What do you guys think about the whole Carl Jobs versus Billy Mitchell scenario? Personally, again, I'm always going to be on Carl Jobs. At the end of the day, it's hard to report the news. It's hard to report anything. And if Australian law contextually says that you can get one or two inaccurate statements when the bulk of the truth outweighs the false statements, then yeah, I would give it to Carl Jobs because it's like, okay, Billy, yes, you didn't directly cause the passing of Apollo Legend. We can give you that point there. But there are a lot of things that infer to you, Billy, that you caused a lot of stress upon Apollo Legend when you put him through those lawsuits. That stress that caused him the unrest. Let me repeat it again for all the Billy Mitchell friends. The stress that caused Apollo Legend the unrest. So, and here's the major thing. What is the real big problem with this lawsuit? Billy Mitchell cheating in Donkey treating, cheating in Donkey Kong. And at the end of the day, if Billy Mitchell cheated in Donkey Kong, what does that mean? That means Billy Mitchell's defamation is unfounded, and Carl Jobs would be awarded as such according to the Australian law. Now, I don't know what people Apollo Legend is exactly having for these witness testimonies and all this stuff. It's kind of crazy and nutty and zany. And at the end of the day, Billy Mitchell needs to just confess and straight out just say he cheated. He needs to just confess he played on Maine. Because we can't just pretend that Billy Mitchell did not play on Maine, because he did play on Maine. Maine. But anyway, guys, what do you think? Like, comment, subscribe. I could go on forever. I'm already at 37 minutes. I should end the video. Tell me what you think. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.